Hello and welcome to Final Cut Pro X Beginner's Series with myself, Garabed Setrakian, and we're just going to continue on to episode 2 here, and the subject in this episode is where are the two most important things in Final Cut X saved, which are your events and projects. Now, if you want to know how to sort of get a brief tour and a general idea as to where the user interface of Final Cut Pro X, please check out episode 1 of this series. Now, moving on with episode 2, I want to, before jumping into Final Cut X, which would be located on your dock here as a shortcut at CCTV, I want us to all just go ahead and jump into the Macintosh HD hard drive, which would look like this. Mine here is renamed to Cetra, so I'm going to go ahead and double click that. I want you to know and just make a mental note that while you are working in the CCTV lab or on your own computer, um, the location of where your projects and your events are saved is very specific. You cannot redirect this, and there is no file save as in Final Cut. So you got to know about double-clicking your hard drive and going to the Movies folder on the left side, and you will see that there's two folders that are neatly organized here, mainly for Final Cut events and Final Cut projects. Now, I'm gonna essentially, this is where your projects are saved, this is where your events are saved. Now, to display this and see this in Final Cut, keep this window open. I'm going to keep that window open and go ahead and open up Final Cut. Now, as Final Cut opens up here, I want you to know that, and remind you, that the three most important areas that we're going to concentrate on are the Final Cut events and projects and the inspector window. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. How do I know which event belongs to which project as well? Okay, so here we go. Now, as Final Cut opens up, just go ahead and expand that. All right. Now, if I'm not seeing anything here, don't be alarmed. All right. All I have to do is simply click this bin here, expand this folder. All right. So if you recall from our previous tutorial, this little icon hides and shows my event library. So your most important area needs to be visible. And if you cannot see events drop down like this, go ahead and expand what is now Cetra here. This at CCTV will be called Macintosh HD, of course. And what this is showing right now are all the events. Now, keeping this open like this, go ahead and click and hold and move this window over. Now, what I want to just point out by moving these windows around is that previously I double-clicked Cetra or Macintosh HD at CCTV on the desktop, and I came to the Movies folder, and now in my column view here, I'm looking at the Final Cut Events folder. Now, take a look at this. Essentially, everything here is reflected here. So, if I were to expand this window here, what I will in fact look at is that there's the pony, there's the green, there's the toots, there's the pony, there's the green, and there's my tutorial events. Okay? Now, essentially, all your events that are saved here are saved on the hard drive at this location. Why am I showing you this? It's because there is no such thing as Final Cut Save My Event As or Final Cut Save My Project As. Okay? You're working with those two things all the time. So, first, I'm going to go ahead and, so to show you guys this example, I want to also now continue and expand. I'm in my project library here. Okay, so that's why I'm seeing project library. This is depressed and it's blue. So if I expand Macintosh HD or Cetra, which is my local drive, I'm going to see a whole series of some projects with missing files. Okay, oops, let's see here. And as I scroll down here, you're going to see names to other projects relating to high def to multi and multicam project, for example, or new project 3. There's also a Pony project and a Synchroma project. All right. When I have projects in my project library, every project is automatically saved in my Final Cut project, so forth. So this here is a reflection of where this is saved. Now, what is interesting is that I can actually delete, of course, if I were to delete everything here, which we'll do very shortly for you guys to follow through and make your own events and projects, well, I want you to know that you can always delete individual projects from here. Okay, so my event, for example, I'm going to come to Final Cut Events here on my Final Cut Events, just to show you guys what's going to happen here. So here's a green event. That's the folder that got created when I made my green event right here. So if I right-click on green event by control-clicking on my Mac, I can go to Move Event to Trash. And now it says event media is in use, and I'm going to go ahead and continue. When my green event gets deleted on my event library, it's also deleted right here. Okay? And in the same way that if I were now to make a new event, which is called new event 1110, assuming the date of today, it now creates a new event here, which I could rename to my new event. When I'm done that, this is my new event here. Alright, the next thing I want to show you is how the projects work, essentially the same way. Okay, so let's say I don't want this project 270 because I'm missing linked files to it. I select it, and when I right click on it, let me go ahead and showcase the projects folder now. So what's going to disappear here is this 270. Alright, so I'm going to right click, move projects to trash, and now the 270 is gone. Alright, if I made a new project with this plus sign here, and I call this a new project for my new event right here, for example, which is selected currently, I'm going to click OK. That new project 4 that just got created in my project library over here is now saved over here. And if I were to rename it here in my Final Cut interface to my new project, you will see that it automatically gets renamed here as well. Okay, so you guys get the idea here, is that essentially all my events and projects are automatically saved and created here. Deleting them here physically will delete them off your hard drive, so that's good to know. Alright? Okay, now on the other end as well, I could just go ahead and close Final Cut right now. And if I were to alternately just open Macintosh HD or my Cetra here, and just physically come to the movies folder, and in column view, select both the Final Cut events folders as such, with the command key, and drag them to the trash. Okay, what I've just done is I've cleaned up all of Final Cut. All of the events and all of the projects have now been deleted off this computer. Okay, so when I come down here and I look at Final Cut and I reopen it, you will see now that as it opens, we're going to have a completely brand new slate. So there you have it. I've got all of my events on Cetra deleted and all of my projects deleted, ready for Final Cut to start a brand new project with me. Okay? Excellent. And that concludes our tutorial for Final Cut X Episode 2 where are events and projects saved, and how do you make your own. In the next episode, we're going to begin by creating a new event and a brand new project, knowing where that's saved automatically, as well as learn a few editing techniques. Thanks for joining.